A couple of new faces. Hello, Andrea. Welcome. Annie, welcome. So real quick, how you work the Zoom if this is your first one. There is a mute and an unmute button in the bottom left-hand side. So you can go ahead and click that. It'll keep you muted or unmuted. And most of the time when we're on trainings, everybody stays muted, unless if there's something you need to say, you can definitely unmute, interrupt at any time, or add in your own 2 cents or anything like that, okay? So if everyone can find that button. And then there's the start and stop video. So when your video's on, obviously we can see you. If you click stop video, if you upload a picture, then you'll see the picture just like you guys see on my screen, or you'll just see a black and white name. So can everyone who is new, let's just see you stop your video. Tay just wrote me a private message in the group chat that said that she's fresh out of the shower, so she's going to turn on her camera in just 1 second. So, you know, that's a good time to make sure that your camera's off. But other than that, we like to see your faces. And so if you can have your cameras on, I would love it. Okay. Then you can see participants. So if you click the participants, you can see all the people that are on the call. There's 28 of us on right now. So you can see that. And then if you click the 3 dots down at the bottom, you'll see that there is an option to chat. So can everyone just write in the chat and just say where they're from? And let's see if there's some people that are in your area. So write down your city and state. And Brianne, you are here and you just joined last night. So welcome to your first Zoom call. This is a great one for you. And when you guys are sending messages, you have the option where it says to send it privately to somebody, or make sure that you click everyone in the meeting and then you can send it to everyone, okay? Now, we do these trainings every Tuesday, Thursday at noon my time, so that's why I call it a noon Zoom. I'm in Mountain Standard Time. So if you live on the West Coast, you're Pacific Standard Time. So every Tuesday, Thursday, you can go ahead, grab your planner and write noon Zoom at 11 a.m. your time. If you're in Mountain Standard Time, it's 12. If you're Central Standard Time, it's at 1 o'clock. And then if you're Eastern Standard Time, then it's at 2. And so the purpose of these calls on Tuesday, Thursday is just to be able to give you guys information. I've been doing this business for 5.5 years now, and there are things that I can help teach you or answer questions or go through things that will help set you up for success. And I know it's not always going to work out. We try to record them and I'll upload them on my YouTube, but it just is so much better when you're in person, like going through it with us and getting it rather than watching the recording. Okay. So, like I said, feel free to unmute, feel free to write in the chat if you have any questions, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I see Elena, welcome. Yay. Lots of new faces. Anita, that's a new name I haven't seen. Who else? Let me scroll through here. I see an iPhone, a Galaxy S20, and a Galaxy S8. So if you guys go to participants and you click on your name, you should be able to change your name. So that way I know who's talking, not just saying Galaxy or something like that, okay? So see if you can experiment and find out how to change it to say your name. And when you log in, underneath the ID number, it'll say screen name or something like that, and so that you can automatically type in your name there, okay? Or you can create a free account and it'll just automatically save it. So we've got, I'm gonna say it wrong, I'm sure, Devanya from Richmond, Virginia. That's awesome. We've got a great team there. So we've got Delaware, Arkansas, Florida, Wyoming, Minnesota, Utah. Awesome, love it. Okay, so you guys, I wanted to do this training today because I've had a lot of people ask, I really want to do well in this business. I really want to be successful. Or they're promoting and then they're not growing. They're not changing. They're not continuing to be a better leader for their team. And so then they get stuck. And I want to prevent that from happening for you guys. And so I just wanted to start this call with going over the different ranks and things that you guys should be doing at that rank. So will you guys write in the chat right now, if you just joined, then you're a distributor. Okay, so write distributor in the chat. If you have 2 distributors underneath you who have each hit the 400 club, then you're the rank called executive. Okay, so if you know that you've ranked up to executive, write executive in the chat. If you're a Ruby leader, write Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, Double, Triple. Okay, so I'm going to talk to each of these ranks. Now, when I first joined this business, my whole purpose in joining this business was to be able to make my money back. Okay, anyone want to make sure that they make their $100 back, or their 24 or 59 or 99, however much money you spend on the business? Everybody wants to make sure that they make that money back. Plus, I wanted to make a little bit more money so I could try a new product each month. That's the whole reason why I joined this, is because I just wanted to try a new product. Okay, and so when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. There wasn't the training resources that you guys have available. All I could do was watch YouTube videos and show up to live trainings. I don't even think, well, I guess we recorded them, put them on YouTube, but I mean, we were doing team calls and I was watching recordings on YouTube. That's kind of how I learned how to do everything. And through the last 5 years of doing this business, I've grown in my leadership. There's only a few of you guys who have been in for a couple of years. I know Tay's been in for 4 years now. Kelly Jo's hit 4 years. Sarah's been in for 3 years. And you guys have seen us, or seen me in particular, be able to grow through my leadership. I was not a good leader when I first started this business because I didn't know what a good leader looked like. And so throughout this time, I've been able to have different leaders and see different types of leadership and read books and watch videos and just grow into it. And your paycheck, this is what you need to hear. Your paycheck will match the level of personal development that you're at. So when you join this business, you are here. Okay, when you join this business, you are here. If you want to make more money, you have to grow as a person. Okay, and think about your life last year. Are you in the same spot that you were in last year? Okay, some of you shake your head yes, some of you guys shake your head no. Okay, are you in a better spot? Are you in a worse spot? You know, like we've all gone through life. And if you want your life to get better, you have to get better. Okay, you've got to be more positive. You got to work harder. You got to surround yourself with better people if you want your life to get better, because if you don't, you're going to be just like the people that you surround yourself with. And if they're negative and complaining all the time and they're broke and they don't want change, then that's exactly what you're going to get. But what happens when you join this business is you're on a Zoom call with 36 other people right now who want to better their lives, who want to either get healthier, who want to make money, who want to help other people. And so when you surround yourself with those people, you get better. And then your paycheck will always match the level of development that you've done for yourself. And nobody can do that for you. Okay. And so I just kind of want to talk about when you first start, the things that you should be doing. And then as you advance through these ranks, like how you can grow as a leader. And like I said, there's a bunch of people who have been in this business for months, for years. And so I really want you guys to kind of unmute and share what your opinion is as far as what people should be doing at each of these rank levels. So my veterans, you guys who have been in at least 6 months or longer, are you guys with me? You're going to help, you're going to unmute, you're going to add in your 2 cents. Okay. We'll talk about the compensation, Brianne, in just a little bit. Okay. So as a new distributor, the first thing that we do is, we welcome you to the team. We have you download these apps. Every single person should have the It Works Connect app downloaded, your It Works sample app, and then it's really helpful if you have this Zoom app downloaded, because we do all of our calls and trainings on Zoom. And then I personally love Marco Polo. I mean, Andrea just joined a couple days ago and we've been Marco Poloing back and forth, and it's just nice to see that she's a real person. She can see that I'm a real person. Some days I look like a hot mess. Some days I look like I actually got dressed and showered, but like it just gives you that personal connection. So those are the 4 apps, if someone will drop those in the comments, that you should have downloaded. If you don't have those downloaded, then make sure that you do it today. So I'll say it again: It Works Connect app, the It Works sample app, Zoom, and Marco Polo. Okay. And thank you guys for having my back and putting that in there. Okay. So my phone number, I'm going to put in the chat right now, is 801-874-5089. You can put me in your phone contacts and you can send me a Marco Polo and ask me questions whenever you need. Okay. I want to be here to help set you guys up for support and, or for success by supporting you. And I like Marco Polo, like I said, because then I get the face-to-face connection, but also because then I can get back to you and I can get back to you. Okay, so sometimes if people call me on the phone, I'm busy with my life, or I'm on another call, or I'm doing something else. And so if you send me a Marco Polo, then I will get back to you as soon as I can get back to you. And you guys who have your teams, I highly recommend downloading it and using this as a connection. So if you've got your group chats, make sure you're all sharing your phone numbers and being able to connect that way, okay? So those are the 4 apps that you should have. Now, the second thing that we do when you join our team is we invite you to what's called the PAC training. Okay, and the PAC training is something that I've created. I was a school teacher before doing this business, and I get asked a lot of the same questions over and over and over and over and over again. And they're good questions. It's just because every day we've got new distributors coming in, and so they're asking these questions, which are valuable questions. And so what I've done is I've organized the PAC training into different units. Okay, just like school, you know, you have unit 1, unit 2. Okay, we have the same thing in the PAC training. And it's going to give you information about setting up your back office. Okay, that's unit 1. What's your website? What's your back office? Get your picture on there. Know what your website is. Get your auto shipments either changed and edited to what products you want, or canceled, turned off. You know, you're in control of your business. And so unit 1 is going to teach you how to do that. Okay. And then there's also units on how to sign customers, how to sell your coffee cash, how to sign distributors. I've given you guys scripts. I've given you post ideas, videos, some links to other training videos that other leaders have done with just advice and help. And so if you're still within your first 30 days and you're trying to get those 6 loyal customers, you want to get into that unit called loyal customers and just start exploring and trying some things out. When I first started, I didn't really have an upline that knew what they were doing. Like I said, there wasn't these training materials. So I just hopped on YouTube and watched videos, and I was like, well, that sounds like a good post. I'll try it out. Or, oh, that sounds like a good message. Let me send it to 10 people and see how it goes, you know? And that's how I started my business. And so we've given you guys the tools and resources. So as a brand new distributor, you want to make sure that you're taking time each day to go through those units. And all of it may not make sense, but that's why you can hop on Marco Polo and say, hey, I just read this, or, you know, screenshot a picture of it and say, what does this mean? And then we're going to be able to help you. But the most successful people in this business are the ones who are self-learners, who are willing to find the information and then ask questions. Because if people are like, I don't know what to do, then I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, you want to sign customers? Okay, do you want to do it through post? Do you want to do it through messaging? You know, and so like, you have to know where you want to go. You have to know what you need. And if you start in the PAC training, you're going to be able to find it. Okay. And then we also add you to a group called Legacy Leaders. So you're added to 2 Facebook groups. One's called PAC Training, that has all your just learning material. And then the other one is Legacy Leaders. And this one is ran by our ambassador Diamond. Her name is Amber Parker. And to be honest, the page is just kind of a hot mess of people posting, asking questions, welcoming new teammates. There's giveaways. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Okay. And so I try and go through that page just at least once a day and kind of scroll through and see what's going on and keep myself in the loop. Are there any calls that are going on? You know, if you see that somebody's hosting a call or a training, you guys are welcome to hop on that. If you're like, well, I'm not doing anything at 3 o'clock, I'm going to hop on that training about how to set up my Facebook or how to sign customers. And you can hop on any trainings that are provided and learn and grow that way. Okay, so those are the 2 pages. Now, the last thing for new distributors, if you really want to be successful in this business, you'll treat your business like a business. Okay, if you were going to open up your own bakery, or if you were going to open up your own boutique or salon or something like that, you would need to show up every day. If you didn't show up every day, your market would lose trust in you. They wouldn't come, you know, and if you weren't kind to them and if you weren't knowledgeable about what you were doing, they're not going to order from you, right? They're not going to tell other people about your business unless if you are acting like a professional. Now, when I first started, I had only tried 2 products. I tried the ThermoFight and I had tried One Wrap. And so I had no idea what I was talking about. So what I did is I got excited about the products that I wanted to use. I really wanted longer hair. My hair was stuck at my shoulders forever. So I was really excited to use the hair, skin, and nails. So I dove into the hair, skin, and nails. I learned as much about it as I could. And then I shared the information with other people. And then I signed up people on hair, skin, and nails until eventually I was able to purchase it and then use it myself and get my own results. I got pregnant shortly after doing this, shortly after signing up with this business. And so I couldn't use the weight loss products, but I still could learn about them and share them. And then I told people about the skincare line. I told people about what I could use or what I felt comfortable using while being pregnant. And so don't worry about learning it all. Just be excited about the ones that you want to use, okay? And share that information because people can definitely feel your excitement, okay? So when I think about new distributors joining this business, okay? So if you're brand new, raise your hand if you've been in for less than 30 days. If you really want to be successful with this, there are 4 things, okay? Number 1 is go through the PAC training. Okay, just take 30 minutes a day, an hour a day. If you can do a lot in one day and a little in another day, just go through that PAC training. Like I said, some of it's not going to make sense, some of it's not. Some of it will, some of it won't. Okay, but at least you're kind of familiarizing yourself with the information. And Brianne asked the question about how do we get paid? There's a whole unit on there about how we get paid. It talks about product cash, it talks about the compensation plan, and the different ways that we can make money, okay? So number 1, PAC training. Number 2, like I said, treating your business like a business. There's this thing we call KPIs. And so I just have mine laminated. And these are our daily to do. And we're going to actually end the call going through this KPI one thing at a time so I can teach you exactly how to do it. But if you do this KPI every single day, you will be successful. So PAC training, KPI. Okay, those 2 things, hands down, it's going to set you up for success. Okay, the third thing is, like I said, show up to the calls and trainings. We tell you guys when you're first signing up that you get to work this business how and when you want. It's flexible. It works around your schedule. And then you join this business and we're like, hey, there's a call. Hey, there's a call. Hey, there's a call. And you're like, wait. I can't do all this. You guys, nothing is required. Like I said to some of you, we have a group chat with a lot of us in it. And I said, I want to help all of you guys be successful, but I can't help 41 people individually. If 41 of you guys were messaging me, and there's even more on our team than that, right? But if 41 of you guys were messaging me every single day saying, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to post? What this, what that? I wouldn't get any work done. I would also probably be in the crazy house. So that's why we do the calls. We do the calls that way we can reach more people. And so if you can arrange your schedule to be on them. My family knows that this business is a priority for me because before doing this, I was working all the time. Anybody else doing that right now? Like literally working all the time, never getting to spend time with your family. It's miserable. You hate your job. I mean, whatever, maybe you love your job. Okay. Like that's fine too. But I was not happy. And so I had to make sacrifice. I had to do investments. I missed out on my son's birthday on multiple occasions. And I put this business above my family. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that's the choice that I made, is to arrange my schedule so I could show up as much as I could. So that way I could be successful. And now you guys, some of you guys see me now and you're like, whoa, she's so successful. You guys, this has been a 5-year journey. It's been a lot of tears. It's a lot of tears. You guys, some of you guys know it's been a lot of tears. There's a lot of gray hair on my head now. There's a lot of, health problems that I've gone through because I've stretched myself too thin with trying to do too much. But for me, it's been worth it. And when I look at each and every one of your faces and the things that you've been able to accomplish, I know that for me, it's been worth it. And I'm excited to see what you're willing to do to make it worth it for yourselves. Okay. So show up to whatever calls and trainings you can. There is in the announcement section of the PAC training, we all try and keep our little pictures of who's doing what calls. And so what I recommend is get yourself a planner. And I know some of you newbies have already done this, so shout out to you guys. But get yourself a planner and just write what during the week, what's going on in your personal life, and then what you can do for the business. And so, there's power hours. I do them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning. And then the Tuesday, Thursdays, I do these noon Zooms. I know that Mandy and Sarah Ives have Mindset, and I believe Sarah does a power hour every morning. Not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but there's a power hour every morning with Sarah Ives, and there's a power hour every evening with Kelly Jo. And like I said, you don't have to be on everything, but the more you can be on, the more help and support you're going to have with ideas of what to post, what to message, what to do. You are welcome to message your enroller at any time and ask them. But remember that they have a life in their own business that they're running as well. And so they're going to get back to you when they can. And so, like I said at the very beginning, if you want to be a successful business owner, use the tools and resources that are available and just run with it. Okay. And then the last thing, so I've said KPIs, calls and trainings, go through the PAC training. And then the last thing is do your personal development. The first book I ever read was called GoPro by Eric Worre. Okay. So it is ERICWORRE, and it's called GoPro. And he talks about the difference between being a network marketing amateur and a network marketing professional. And if you want to make money in network marketing, you have to treat your business like a business, which means you've got to act like a professional. And most of us have never done anything like this before, or we have, and we weren't successful with it. I mean, is that anybody else? You did another business? Maybe you did it Works before, and like I'm looking at a couple of you guys, this is your second or third time doing it Works because you've done it twice and quit twice, and now you're back in it, right? And the difference is treating your business like a business and being a professional. So I really encourage anybody who just started and anyone who's been in for a while, if you have not read GoPro by Eric Worre, read that or listen to it. It might even be free on YouTube. It's a 3-hour book. If you listen to it on Audible, when libraries open back up, you can rent it from the library and read it. But that book is really, I feel like what set me up for success in this business 5 years ago. It was the first book I ever read, and I recommend it to everyone. So that's what I'm saying, you guys. KPIs, be on the calls and trainings, go through the PAC training, and do your personal development. So that way you can grow, so your paycheck can grow. So is there anything that you guys would add for a brand new distributor or someone who's maybe been in for a while and hasn't moved up in the ranks as far as where they should start?
I just want to say sometimes it can be intimidating to be new and not know other people on the team. But if you notice in the PAC training where everyone is putting their power hour, power half hour, whatever calls, they're specific to things that are happening in people's lives. We've got one for working before your kids get up. We've got one for working while your kids are there with you in the afternoon. So like we have things that are specific to help everyone out. And if we don't have something to help you out, let us know so that we can help you out.
Right. And, you know, too, is be honest with your situation. Be honest with your enroller. Let them know how you're feeling. When I signed up at 10 p.m. at night on December 31st. So it was New Year's Eve. It was 10 p.m. I was like, fine, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to start this year owning my own business. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm tired of waiting and I'm just doing it. And so I signed up. And then the next morning I woke up and I said, oh, sweet baby Jesus, what did I just get myself into? And I actually messaged my enroller and wanted to quit. So if you felt that way before, it's normal. It's totally normal. It's scary. Someone just said literally jumping into something we know nothing about. It's like jumping into the deep end of the pool. It's exciting and scary at the same time. But here's the thing. We're not going to let you sink if you link arms with us and just come with us. Okay, we're going to ask you to do things that maybe make you uncomfortable, push you outside your comfort zone. You've never done stuff like this before, but we're going to be there to help you every single step of the way. Whether you've got happy people or angry people or people aren't responding to you, we've experienced it all and we're going to help you. Go ahead, Hayden.
I was gonna say, I think it's really important because this is something I learned like later on in the business. Make sure you guys have a schedule. If whether you are a like full-time stay-at-home parent or just full-time stay-at-home or have a full-time job, it is so important to have a schedule, you guys, because when I first started, I felt like I needed to be on my phone all the time. I felt like I needed to respond to people right away. And it made me feel super overwhelmed. And like backing up what Tamika said about making sure that you reach out to your enroller or an upline about how you're feeling is important, but don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you have a schedule. Make sure you know it's okay to set your phone down and that it's okay to reach out for help. It is so, if you don't have a schedule, you're just gonna get completely overwhelmed, especially if you are a full-time stay-at-home mom. Trust me on that one. So schedule is key in my book.
Yes, and if you're a student, if you're working a job. So you guys, my schedule looks like I wake up an hour before my kids. every single morning. You know, it used to be 6 a.m., but now my body's like 5:30 is fine. You can wake up at 5:30. 5:30 is good. So, you know, I wake up between 5:30 and 6. I don't even need an alarm anymore. And then I go into my family living room and I read my book, I listen, I journal, and I do that stuff for an hour before my kids even wake up. My 6-year-old knows that he's not allowed to come downstairs until 7 o'clock. So if he wakes up earlier, he just takes a look at his clock and reads a book in his bed or plays with his stuffed animals. And at 7 o'clock, he comes downstairs, or if he's still sleeping, then great, I get some extra time. But, you know, my kids are on board. Even my 4-year-old knows that she doesn't get to come downstairs till after 7 o'clock. Now, sometimes she does, but she's 4. But I mean, ever since they were young, we've just set the standard. We've just set the expectation for them. This is mom's job. And then I do a power hour from 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I try and get all of my KPI done during that hour. And I put my phone away, I work out, I do school with my kids, I do lunch, and then I get back on, you know, from 12 to 1. And then I do another one in the afternoon from 3 to 4. And then when they go to bed at 8, because we have a set bedtime, they go to bed at 8. So that way I can work my business or spend time with my husband from about 8 to 10. And so I work this business, I would say on average about 4 hours a day, but it is intense full-time work during those 4 hours. Now, I've been in for a long time. I've got a big team, so I've got a lot of work to do. But you guys who are just starting, can you set aside 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here, schedule it in, and you'll set yourself up for success. Go ahead, Tay.
I think another important thing too is don't compare yourself. We all started where you are starting. So you can't look at somebody that's been in the business 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years and get discouraged that you're not having the same success that we're having. You can't compare yourself to others. What you need to be doing is comparing yourself to where you were yesterday. So get clear on where you want to go, set the goals, break them down, and work towards them. We're here to help you. We're not here to make you feel like you're not good enough or you're not moving fast enough. You can't compare yourself to people that have been in longer than you. We've all started where you started, and we've worked really hard over long periods of time to get where we are. And you just have to know that you've got to do the exact same thing if you want to grow.
Right. So
I want to say something about the working 30-minute increments. So that's what I did when I first started. I was helping take care of my dad. I'm a mom. When I first started, my daughter was like 4 months old, 4 or 5 months old, and, you know, a wife. And so Tamika actually told me, like, when you sit down to do work, do 10 minutes of adding, 10 minutes of engaging, 10 minutes of messaging, and then put it away. And so that's how I would do it in 30-minute increments. And I would just set a timer on my phone and I'd do those 10 minutes. And it helped a lot.
Yep, exactly. And you don't have to get back to people right away. It's fine. So, you know, you guys have heard from some people who have been in the business for a while. I'd like to hear from some newbies. And I know that sometimes it's intimidating unmuting on a call, but like, we're all a family. It doesn't matter how long you've been in. And we get so much new insight from people who are brand new as far as how they're feeling. So if any of you guys want to unmute and just share what you're liking or what's working for you so far, or what you need help with.
I'd like to comment on what Tay said about don't compare yourself to people who have been in here for a while, because that's what I was doing. My first month, it was like, why am I not getting what they're getting? Why am I not as big as Tamika? Why am I not as good as Leilani? And you just have to realize that you need to schedule your stuff and you need to take it at your own pace. That's all you can do. You can't do any better than you can do. And one of the things that I noticed when I was scheduling, I would put work on my schedule. Well, now I get specific about what type of work I'm going to do for that 30 minutes or an hour. So I know exactly what I have left to do for the day.
I love that. That's a very good tip. Thank you. Shout out to Annie. Annie just joined and already signed her first customer. Annie, is there anything that you're feeling that you would like to share?
It was pretty exciting because what I did was I started touching base with some of my friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, but you know, you like and you comment on their posts. So my first customer was actually one of I graduated high school with her way back in the day. And in the midst of, trying to get her signed up, we were reminiscing about the old days. So, and she's been going through some health issues too. So when I sent her the list, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check it out," and it really made me feel good, and I got really excited.
That is awesome. And the people that you'll come in contact is just incredible. You'll meet complete strangers that will become your best friends. You'll get connected with past relationships, like really cool. Go ahead, Keisha. Did you want to say something? You're unmuted. No? Okay. Not sure. Anybody else? Oh, no, your microphone's not connected anymore. And Brianna, I know you said you had to go. We're recording, so you can definitely catch the last half of this. Thanks for being on for what you could.
Okay, I just want to check and make sure because I got to take my little girl to the doctor. She's not wanting to eat and also broke out in hives for some reason. So, and she's 2
Sending
years
prayers.
old. It's freaking me out. So,
Go take care of her. Thank you for being on.
all right, thank y'all.
Let's see. Elena, Andrea, Linda, anything you guys want to ask or add, or how are you feeling?
I was just a little scared, honestly, at first, and there's just the negative comments people say, like, oh, that's not gonna work. Oh, well, this isn't gonna work for you. You're not gonna be successful. Just all that, but I need something new in my life, and I've been pretty depressed for a while, and I just need new positive friends also, and so that's also why.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. And it was a little bit choppy for me. I don't know if you guys heard, but she gets negative, like there was someone who wrote a negative comment, and people saying that you can't do this, you won't be successful. But if you want to change, you got to make a change. And a lot of times too, the ones who are saying those things, look at where they are in their life. Are they successful? I will never listen to somebody tell me I can't do something unless they're in a position that I want to be. And anybody who is above you and in a position that you want to be would never tell you that you can't do something. You guys hearing me on that? No successful person will ever tell you that you can't do something. It's the crab analogy. There's all these crabs in the bucket, right? None of the crabs can get out because they're all pulling each other down, right? You don't want those people. Cut those people loose and be with the people who want to see you succeed.
That's the beautiful thing about social media, is that it's your social media. So you can control it how you want to control it. And if you don't want to see someone's negativity, then don't see their negativity anymore. I've literally gotten rid of people that I went to high school with. I've gotten rid of family on Facebook. People that want you to succeed will be there to cheer you on and will be showing positivity and will be trying to get their own success as well and not down. So it's your social media, and boop, on to the next.
Okay. So we're going to move
Another
on
thing with that too, sorry, real quick. You don't have to unfriend them. Like if they're your family, you can unfollow them too. I've had to unfollow some of my family, but I won't unfriend them. Just so that way from time to time I can go check out pictures of my family and stuff. But if they're negative, just unfollow them.
Yeah. Andrew, she can definitely say hi. Hi.
Hey, hi. Are you in beach time now? Say hi. Nope. She's showing you her kitty and her angel dress.
Oh, pretty.
I got to meet Tish's grandson this week, and this is so exciting about this job, is that we can still connect with people. And I've never even met Tish, but I met her grandson this week.
It is awesome. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit because we've been talking about just distributors. Okay, so everybody starts out at the distributor level, every single person. If you want to rank up, you have to become a different person, period, end of story. So the quickest way, hear me on this, the quickest way for you guys to rank up is to do this KPI sheet every single day, which we'll go over at the very end. Be familiar with the PAC training and show up to the calls. Okay, and listen to your personal development. When you do those 4 things, you're going to see success more and more and more and more and more. Okay. Then what happens is you rank up to a level called Ruby. And Ruby is a level that you have 3 distributors underneath you, 3 people who want to make money underneath you. And each one of those people have at least 400 group volume, and you have a total of 2,000 or more. So 400, 400, 400, that makes 1,200. And so then you need 800 more combined. And then you go what a rank called Ruby is. Okay. Now a Ruby is the foundation of our company. If you can build yourself to Ruby, then you can build anybody else to Ruby, and that's going to take you to the top of the company, Ambassador Diamond. Okay. And so when you're a Ruby leader, what are some of the things that you guys should be doing? These are the ideas that I came up with some other leaders. When you hit that Ruby level and you have those 3 distributors underneath you, it's your job to take care of them, to stay in contact with them, to be their friend, and to help set them up for success. And so you as a Ruby leader need to continue signing customers and distributors so that way you know what works, and then you can pass it down to your team. Nobody wants to work for somebody who's not getting results. Okay, so when you rank up, it doesn't mean, oh, I made it, I can just manage my team and tell them what to do and I'm going to get paid. No. Anybody want to come spend a day with me? Oh my goodness, I work for you guys. Like, you guys are my bosses. I always tell people, like, look at my chart, okay? Like, oh, it's a huge pyramid scheme. Heck no, turn it upside down. I'm working for you guys. I'm creating this stuff. I'm sending messages. I'm putting out fires. I'm answering questions. I'm doing all the work that you guys are doing and more. And you guys who are now diamond leaders, you know, I had somebody messaging me yesterday, like, is it really worth it? I'm so tired. It's hard to manage a team. It is hard because you have to do your own work plus help your team be successful. Okay. Now, leaders who choose not to do that don't stay in the company very long. Their team passes them. You have to be getting results, which means every single month you're signing your 6 loyal customers and your 3 distributors, and you're doing it over and over and over again. And you do this so that way you can tell your team what's working. Hey, I just made this post and I signed 2 distributors from it. Hey, I just sent this message and I just signed 3 customers. Here's my closing script that I use. And it may or may not work for them, but at least it's working for you and you're passing it down and you're growing in your leadership. Okay. And so when you're a Ruby leader, number 1, you got to make sure that you're completing your steps to success and getting your enrollments. That's number 1. Okay. If you're trying to rank up, if you're trying to grow, you've got to make sure you're leading by example. Okay. Number 2 is we want to see you have KPI meetings with your team. Okay. So if you're a Ruby or above leader, raise your hand up here. Okay. We want to see you guys doing KPI calls with your team. And so what this basically means is you're scheduling a call with each person in your downline, and you guys are meeting and you're saying, hey, how does your KPI go this week? How many times did you do your personal development? How many times did you post about a product? How many times did you get host to post up? You know, and they're going through this with you and they're holding you accountable. So you want to do this with your downline. Now, if you're a Ruby leader, you have at least 3 people underneath you that you can be meeting with on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. Okay. If you're an Emerald leader, you may not have a Ruby leader who can do this yet. So it's your job to take responsibility and do the KPIs with the ones who don't have it. If you're a Diamond leader, you might have some stragglers, or you might have some people here, there, or places where you still need to do these KPI calls. And so I want you guys today is to take a look at your chart and make sure that either your Ruby leaders are doing the KPI calls with their team, or you're doing them with your team. And let's make sure that everybody is getting in on some KPI calls to hold them accountable. Give them new ideas as far as how they can add friends, how they can send messages, how they're going to get host to post up. You know, teach them the system. Use some time to put text replacement in your phone to make it easier on them. But as a Ruby leader, you have an opportunity to coach and set your team up for success because you are doing the work. Okay. The other thing that we want you to do as a Ruby leader is we want to make sure that you're charting and checking your downline orders. Okay, now that it's not just your business, you quote unquote have employees, you know, you have other people in your business that can bring in orders. It's important that you're checking your reports in your back office and giving recognition. and checking for those CC declines and checking for those return orders. We want you as a Ruby leader to make sure that you're proficient in your back office. And you're going to be so thankful when you hit Emerald and Diamond that you made good habits as a Ruby. Okay, so downline orders and charting, you must know that as a Ruby leader. Okay, and then the last thing we want you guys to do is continue to grow, continue to do your personal development. So one book that I always recommend Ruby leaders to read is called How Successful People Lead by John Maxwell. Okay, so write that one down, How Successful People Lead. Now, what this does is it teaches you how to take yourself through the 5 levels of leadership. There's positional leadership, there's relationship, there's productivity, there's duplication, and then there's creating more level 5 leaders. So it takes you through this 5-step process of being a leader, and you need to do that with each person in your downline. So now that you have 3 people in your downline, you need to make sure that you're at a level 4, a level 5 with each of them so that you're becoming a leader of leaders. Okay, that's ultimately what we want. We want everybody leading themselves, having success because they know what to do. And so reading that book by John Maxwell, How Successful People Lead, and honestly, any book, any YouTube video by John Maxwell is going to totally set you up for success, okay? And so anything, we gotta kind of keep this short, but as a Ruby leader, you continue to do all the things that distributors do, and now you're adding on a little bit more since you're being a leader. You're doing KPI calls, you're giving recognition and reminders to your team because you're checking your downline reports and checking the team pages, so you're reminding them of calls and help setting them for success. So is there anything you guys would add for a Ruby leader?
This is really the level where it's time to take ownership of it. You might be having people placing other people under you, but it's all your team. And so even if it's not you're personally enrolled, this is when you take ownership of it and have your own team and start to grow your leadership.
Right.
That's really when the switch flipped for me.
Anybody else add anything?
I think for me, knowing that I can start off with just learning how to be a leader to a couple of people is a lot easier than to 15 plus people. And it's just a progression thing.
Yes, and you guys hear that screaming kid in the background? It's fine. Okay, that's life right now, and we just make it work. And know that if you have screaming kids in your background, you are not alone, okay? Mine are eating fruit snacks and playing on their iPads right now. It's fine. It's the way that I keep them quiet when I've got calls. It's just what we do as business owners, okay? It's not easy, but thank you, Carrie Ann. And I always say, God's not going to give you more unless if you take care of what you have. If you don't have a system to take care of your customers, if you don't have a system to take care of your distributors, if you're not setting people in your organization up for success, maybe that's why you're not signing customers and distributors right now. I put in a lot of one-time orders last month. And today and yesterday, I've been going through, where's my little paper here? Okay, I've got all of these people on this list. I'm writing them all thank you letters. I'm going through and I'm checking their orders and I'm saying, hey, your order just shipped. It's supposed to be there on the 8th. It's supposed to be on there on the 9th. And I'm messaging all these people who were willing to help me out at the end of last month. And I'm writing them thank you cards, personalized thank you cards that say, hey, we didn't hit our goal, but so many people on my team did. And I'm so grateful for your one-time order that you made last month. And I'm taking care of the people who just put in a one-time order last month. And I always send thank you cards to my 3-month customers. And, you know, I've got gifts all over my floor right now in my office that I'm mailing out to all of you guys who ranked up last month. Or if I'm not mailing it, we've already organized and coordinated which upline leader is sending out these gifts so that everyone gets recognized. You know, and this didn't just come at Triple Diamond. I started this when I was a Ruby Emerald leader, where I wanted to pour into my team and give recognition and give thanks. And so whether it's just saying thank you to your customers or saying thank you to your distributors, it starts at this Ruby level, okay? And so if you're taking notes like I already did, I wrote KPI meetings, chart, downline orders, recognition and reminders, and how successful people lead. That's what I wrote on Rubies, okay? And you guys who have Ruby leaders underneath you who aren't on this call, do a one-on-one call with them. Okay, set them up for success. Help them be the leader that they want to be by giving them the tools and resources. Okay, so Emerald and above leaders. Okay, you're still doing everything distributors are doing. Your KPIs, you're plugged into the meetings, you're showing up whenever you can, you're still reading that book GoPro, because sometimes you have to listen to it over and over and over again until it sticks. You're still doing your KPI meetings with the ones your Ruby leaders are doing. You're still giving out recognition and reminders and charting and doing your downline orders. You're still doing all those things. And the one thing that I would add for Emerald leaders is this is an opportunity where you've been in for a while, you know what works, you know what doesn't work. Start hosting some calls. It doesn't have to be a weekly call. It could just be a one-time call. Maybe you listen to a really good personal development book and you want to share it with people. Maybe you are a master at host-to-post and you found something that works, so you just do a one-time call about this. Or maybe you've worked through some things with your team or learned color personalities or anything like that, and you want to do a call. But as an Emerald leader, this is your chance to really start to step up. Because a lot of people wait till they go diamond. Well, guess what? You being a diamond leader doesn't make you any more special than anybody else. It doesn't all of a sudden give you an opportunity in this platform to share your information. You just do that as you go. People are going to respect you as they see you go through the journey. And your first Zoom call that you do is probably going to be a hot mess. You're probably going to look back and be like, whoo. I remember Tay sent me a message. She's like, I just did a team call and it was the worst. Like halfway through it, I just wanted to end it and I didn't even want to finish it. Like it was so funny when she sent me that. I said, well, now you know what to do different for next time, you know, and that's what we all do. And so what an amazing opportunity. Even Ruby leaders, you guys, Ruby, Emerald, even if you're a brand new distributor, it doesn't matter. But I would really encourage you guys to start showing up more on calls, whether you're unmuting. Like I have a lot of people that will tell me, well, the same people always unmute and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, then why don't you unmute? I sit here and say, who has something to say? And if you choose not to unmute, that's you choosing not to share your leadership. That's you choosing not to grow. And if you don't have anything to share, that's why you are where you are. Okay, I'm going to say that again. If you don't have anything to share, that's why you are where you are. Because you are not growing. I thought to myself, how can I do a training every Tuesday, Thursday? I haven't had a problem doing it because I'm growing every single day. Whether I'm growing for myself or whether I'm figuring out what you guys are growing through that I think other people need to know, I don't have a problem doing an hour training twice a week. I could do an hour training every single day. I could be on Zoom for 24 hours and teach you guys everything. So if you're an Emerald or above leader and you have not spoken up and you have not done your call, take an internal reflection, okay? And think to yourself, what do I need to grow in? Am I not a good closer? Am I not signing customers and distributors? I'm going to study closing, and then I'm going to do a call on closing, okay? If you're not good at time management and organization, you feel like you're a hot mess all the time, I'll hop on that call, okay? Do a call. And give us your goods. Teach us how to use highlighters. Teach us how to, time block or do this, that, or the other. You are a leader if you choose to be. And if you're stuck at the same rank, like I said at the very beginning of this call, your paycheck will always match your level. And so if you think that you should be higher than where you are, you got to up that personal development. You got to up that value. You got to have something to share, something to give of value to get yourself through that glass ceiling. Okay. So, as far as Emeralds, all I wrote on there is to make sure you're speaking up and hosting calls. Start giving value to more people, whether it's your downline or sidelines or anything like that, okay? Now, some of you guys have been Emerald for a while and just promoted to Diamond, or you've just been in for a while and maybe you haven't broken through that ceiling of even Ruby or Emerald or Diamond or whatever. Are there any aha moments that you guys have had that have helped you break through?
I'll share on that one. Personal development, when I first started, I first week, I did it really consistently in the mornings when I first wake up. And then my daughter, who was, like I said, 4 months old, started to adjust to my schedule. And so I'd push it off. Rather than getting up earlier to do it, I'd push it off and I'd tell myself I'll do it before bed, and I'd never get to it. And I was so stuck. I didn't enroll my first customer until 3 months in the business. And then I didn't enroll another single person until I was 6 months in the business. And then I started doing the personal development consistently every single morning. My relationship with my husband got better. I became a more patient and calm mom. I started signing people. And in that month that I consistently did it, I went from signing nobody and getting no responses, no yeses, like ready to quit and be like, see, Tamika, I told you I was right. Like, I am terrible at this, to suddenly my Facebook friends list went from like 300 people to 900 people. And I had signed, I think, 7 people that month. I think only 2 were distributors. The rest were all customers, but it made such a huge difference. And then I continued doing it because I had proven to myself, okay, everybody was right. I wish I would have listened to them in the beginning and not been stuck for so long. And then everything started to change. I was living with my parents because I was helping take care of them. And I consistently used my mindset to tell myself that I was going to finally get my own place because I was tired of living with my parents. 2 weeks later, I finally was able to get my own place. But it's not just the personal development part. You can't just do the personal development part and not do the work and expect results. It goes together. If you're doing the work but not the mindset, you're not going to get anywhere. Same thing the other way around.
Right. So, okay. So we've got distributor, we got Ruby, we got Emerald, and then when you go Diamond, y'all, it's a new ball game. It's a new mindset. It's a new level. It's a big jump. So we're not going to get to that because when you go Diamond, we can do one-on-one calls and we can work through all your problems together. Okay. But let's just focus on growing leaders. Okay. Go ahead, Sarah. And then we're going to move on.
I do want to say, since you mentioned that, I do want to say that if there is ever an upline or someone in a higher rank than you or someone that's already where you want to be, that is offering their time to you, either one-on-one or on a Zoom call with other people or on a power hour or whatever it is, if someone wants to offer their time to you, absorb whatever they're giving to you. We are always offered one-on-ones with Tamika and our uplines. And it's always something that changes the day, changes my business, no matter when it is. So absorb the information that other people are willing to give you and the time that they're willing to give you.
Thanks for that, Sarah. And you guys, and everything that leaders tell you is what works for them. It's what they've seen. It's their experience. It's their opinion. And also remember that, like, ultimately this is your business. And there are people who are very resistant to what I have to give or other people have to give. And then they come around later and they're like Carrie said, I wish I would have listened sooner, you know? And so take in what you want, apply it, see what works for you, but also be okay with doing things outside your comfort zone. Doing things like, sometimes I use somebody else's script that I'm like, I would never send that. And then I send it to people and then I get people and I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I sent that message, you know? And it made me uncomfortable because it just wasn't me, but it worked. And so, you know, you always want to make sure, like Sarah said, you're showing up, you're absorbing, you're taking in. I mean, obviously we are where we are because we've gone through what you are going through. And the words that you say are so important. If you're saying, I'm struggling with this, I really want that. Nobody wants what I have. Everyone tells me no. If you guys say those things, I mean, even like right now when I'm saying it, I'm like, ew, icky, like change it. I always say every morning when I wake up in the morning, I say, everyone wants what I post about. And so then every time I make a post, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see who's going to message me about this post because I know everyone wants it. I'll always say to myself, people I messaged are messaging me back ready to sign up. Okay. And there have been days where people I have talked to so many times message me and they're like, hey, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, yes, I'm ready to put your order in. It's only been 3 years, but I'm ready. Okay. Even some of you guys, it's funny because I was talking to Elena. I'm like, we started talking back in 2016, and she just signed this month. You know, that's 4 years of investment, time, energy, but now is her time. And so you guys, I want you guys to take quitting off the table. Okay. You joined this business for a reason and you will get there. Okay. And if you're not there yet because you've been in a while, it's your mindset. It's the things that you're saying to yourself. It's the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And as soon as you make that change, You will get there, I promise. If you're not there yet, it's because there's something in your way that you're not willing to remove, you're not willing to let go of, okay? And so we just have to figure out what that is, but keep on going. Take quitting off the table. This business, this company is the most incredible company you will ever be a part of. And I saw that yesterday. Can I just tell you, we had a diamond and above Zoom call yesterday. Okay, so you had to be diamond or above to be on this call with Cami Pentecost. And she had a guest speaker on, Rachel Wiggum. And they told us that they want us to take a day off. They said, we want you to take a Sabbath. We want you to pick a day during the week where you turn off your phone and you look your kids in the eye and you spend time with your husband and you don't worry about host posts and you don't post on Facebook. You legit take a day off. Our company gave us permission to do that. What company says that that's okay? That preaches and teaches that? They teach us that they want us to take 10% of our income and give it back. Give it to a church, give it to a charity, give it to an organization, give it to people that are in need. What company does that? You guys, this is the most incredible company. And if anybody says anything different, they don't know. Okay? Like our heart of the company is faith, family, then finances. And that's something that I want to be a part of. And I don't know if all you guys are faith people or not, but like just for the good of the world, we need this and people need it too. So you take quitting off the table. You do your KPI sheets every single day. You stay in contact with your upline and you stay as close to me as possible, you guys. We always say, stay close to the fire. I've been on fire for 5.5 years, never been put out. I don't allow anybody's negative energy into my space. So you stay close to the fire, you guys will get to exactly where you want to be. So I'm so excited. If you got value from this call, drop a 1. Let's get a couple takeaways. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to go over this KPI sheet. Samara, what's your takeaway?
I liked the different levels that you talked about, like for each, as you grow, the different things to incorporate. So I took all the notes and I'm gonna send them to my team.
Hey, and that's what leaders do. They take notes and they let their team know what they missed. They can do a recap. They can send the notes, right? Do you know who missed it on your team? Have you scrolled through the participants? You know, who else needed this call? We can get them the recording, right? Julia, good to see you. Who else has a big takeaway that they can share?
I just want to say, as Sandra D mentioned earlier in the chat, about getting on calls and power hours, like even if you don't have time or even if it's somebody else. You guys, 3 years into the business and I still learn things and still get fired up and still get excited when my enroller personally messages me on Instagram and asks me to get on because she wants my input. It just, you get fired up when you're on these calls, and staying close to that fire is what helps you keep that negativity out. And there's always, always, always something that you're going to learn on a call that you wouldn't have if you didn't just get on. And if you work full time, you can fit it all into your schedule still.
And they always say either you need the call or the call needs you. You know?
And sometimes too, it's not so much that you need to learn something, it's that you just need to hear something. Like something's gonna be said that's just gonna speak to you. Like, for example, today, I really needed to hear that just because I'm a Ruby doesn't mean I can't lead my team, because I have a very bad habit of doubting myself when it comes to leading my team. And so I allow other people to do that, but that's not what's going to make me successful. I have to do it. I have to be the one to lead my team. But that doesn't mean it's not okay to ask my team or my upline to help me because I'm feeling lost. And so that's one thing that I've been working really hard with the end of last month, beginning of this month, because that's what I realized finally. Like, I got on a call and I realized that that's why I'm not growing, is because I'm trying to grow in all these other aspects, but not my leadership. And that is most important.
And you guys, not everybody on your team wants to be led. And you as a leader, I mean, I hear people all the time, I'm just discouraged. Nobody on my team is working. Wow, wow, wow. Well, are you working? If you were working, you wouldn't have to worry about it because you'd be enrolling new people who wanted to work. So if you ever find yourself in that leadership position and you're whining that your team's not doing A, B, and C, it is a reflection of you and your leadership. Period. End of story. You are not enrolling. You are not meeting them at a personal level. You're not connecting with them. You don't have that leadership mindset. So it's an opportunity to grow, not an opportunity to get discouraged and mad and bitter. If they don't want to work with you, it's okay. And you know what? I used to get really offended when people would go above my head and talk to my upline. I'm like, why don't they want to talk to me? What did I do wrong? I'm so grateful that you guys go to your sideline sisters. I'm so grateful that you guys go to Amber Parker and ask her questions and show up to her calls. I'm so grateful that you help each other out. And so instead of being upset, be grateful that we're one team on mission and that everybody can help everybody and connect with who they need to and want to connect with. Don't ever let your pride get in the way of your leadership. And that's a lesson I learned the hard way. So hear that.
I wanted to comment on something that Galaxy put in the chat about feeling alone and that she didn't have anybody there to help her. You do. You've got to remember that you have a whole entire team behind you, and we are all here for you. No matter whose team we're on, no matter who is our upline, we are ready to help at all times.
Yep. And you just have to reach out, and you just have to show up, and you just have to ask. You can't expect people to read your minds either. I know sometimes I'm like, why isn't anyone doing this? Well, because I didn't tell anyone. Okay? Like, quit whining. Like, I'm not a whiner. Whenever I find myself whining, I'm like, hey, what's the problem? What's the solution? Let's work through it. Okay. Like, there's a solution to everything. If you haven't read the book by Marie Forleo or something like that, it's called Everything is Figure Outable. And it really, truly is. There's no problem that can ever get you down. There's always a solution to everything. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up unless if anyone has one last thing they want to share.
If you have a question or something to say, there's most likely one else that's thinking the same thing. So just don't be afraid to ask your question or put what you need out there. Someone else needs it too.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I was just going to do really quick and say when I first started, I was on fire, doing great. And then I stopped coming, like I was doing every Zoom, like any single Zoom that they would post for any teams, for ours, everything. I was doing great. Then I stopped going to Zooms, stopped moving, started going to Zooms, now I'm moving again. So Zooms are super important. If you can squeeze them in, even if you're driving in the car, getting your kids dressed, giving them a bath, whatever, just turn the video off and just listen. Because no matter what, you're going to pick up something like in the back of your mind. Like they're seriously so important. Just do it and you'll figure it out from there.
Right. Okay, stop the recording.